beautiful souls to the Mind of the Crochet Designer podcast. I feel like after the last two podcast episodes, I really could do with something shorter. I don't know about you. Maybe you actually prefer the longer, more personal driven podcast episodes. Please let me know. All feedback welcome. Or maybe you're like, well, Christina, I really would love for you to just stick to the point. That's also great too. And this one will be shorter, more to the point, I feel. So maybe not, but let's just see where this episode will take us. I'm still processing all of my designer goals and my crochet business vision for 2025. I love that about the start of the new year. I really feel like the start of the new year is not about doing, but about the big vision and about how to get there. Just to make a plan, map it out, and actually tap deep into your actual desires. And I've already been through so many iterations of my whole crochet design year in the past years. I only started Christina Crochet Coach in 2023, September 2023, and I've already went through so many iterations around what type of masterclasses, products, programs I should release, how many crochet alongs I should do, how many patterns I should release, and every time I would go through another iteration. Like I would try to map out the whole year because I really love some kind of predictability. And every time, whenever I was in the process of that, I was already so like I would feel drained just by writing it down. Like, oh, I have to do a crochet along, but then I have the promotional runway should start 2 months prior. So, but then I'm still doing the program for Mind of the Crochet Designer. It was like a puzzle that I just could not fit. And ever since this last Christmas holiday break, where I took the time to really reflect and look back on last year and really take the time to tap into my desires, which are peace in my mind and in my day, spaciousness in myself and in my day and around me. So I've spent a lot of the Christmas break decluttering. Love a good declutter. And connecting back to myself and really connecting to you, the podcast listener, the one that buys my products because you really want to elevate your crochet design journey and set yourself up for success. You, the one that also buys my patterns, that participates in the crochet alongs. But I also want to connect like to my surroundings and be more in the now. And so the reason why my yearly plan was never working was because it was too much. And so my designer goal, the goal for Christina Crochet Coach and A Spoonful of Yarn, but mainly A Spoonful of Yarn and around my designs, is to not release more, but to release better. And when we take that to crochet designing, I had this big epiphany. Like, you know how those things go, like you're just doing random whatever, and then suddenly you're like, you have like this big breakthrough moment, and they happen all the time, lucky me. But this big breakthrough moment, like, we as crocheters, as crochet designers, are living in an age where everything needs to be instant. People want instant gratification. They want things now, but actually they really wanted it yesterday. So the faster the better. You see it with everything. Like, a 90-second reel is now too long. It's considered too long. People on TikTok, like people with attention deficits, just being on social media, which is such a no-brainer because it actually is so bad for your brain to process all of those little scraps of information in such a short time. Anyway, instant gratification is the time we live in. Everyone wants things now. You see it. Everything is on demand. You can order food right now and it will be delivered right now. You can watch anything on Netflix or whatever, and you can do it now. People are getting so annoyed that, including me by the way, that their favorite show, that there are no more seasons, or shows get cancelled and they're like, but I want to watch it now. And we're really living in that age, forgetting that crochet is a slow craft. And so, how realistic would it be to release a new design every month? And do you also think that that pacing is where you do your best design work? I don't think so. Personally, I mean, there are people that do their best work under a lot of pressure. But I don't feel like crochet is an area where time pressure serves that best. The truth of the matter is that releasing not good designs, but great designs that will test your limits to the highest level, those take time. And it's totally fine that it takes time. The only thing is that we feel so much outside pressure to release and to release and to create. But that's not where most of us do our best work. The upside of taking your time, and also why I feel I very boldly stated it in the episode title, my crochet design goals for 2025, that should be yours too. And that's a very bold statement, and I totally stand by that statement, because there are so many benefits in doing better designing instead of more designing. Because when you stretch your skills to the limit, you learn a lot. You will make a lot of mistakes, which are totally fine, and also so much part of the process of designing and also learning new skills. But in stretching those skills, after you've learned and gained those new skills, they will have massively improved. So you will actually quantum leap into a new crochet design version of yourself that can actually create even better designs. And so every time at the beginning of your crochet design journey, it will be slow going. It might be that you work a whole year on one design. Make that fact be okay for you. Let me share something. And I don't think that a lot of designers share it, because you only see like the end result. You don't see how many times that designer has spent frogging, redoing again, throwing the whole thing in the bin, starting over from scratch. You don't see all of that, but it's really a very normal part of the crochet design process. And not even the crochet design process in itself, because everyone can just design like a dishcloth or whatever, but really take your crochet design skills to the next level and actually create to your truest potential that I already know that's within you. But you have to be your own coach. You have to push yourself and your skills to the next level by creating designs that you might not even think that you are capable of, but trying anyway. I have been through so many iterations of the 2020 Scheepjes Crochet Long Blanket. It is one of my best sellers. It's also my most complex design ever. It goes from a circle to a square to an octagon to a circle to a square again. and using like 30 different stitches, or no, I think even more than that, and so many different techniques. And I loved designing that, but it really stretched my skills to the max. I've spent over 2 years on that blanket. Let that sink in. And that doesn't mean that I've spent working on the sample every day for over those 2 years. I didn't crochet on it every day for over 2 years. I also, of course, spent time doing different designs during those 2 years. But that's the truth of it. That's the reality of being a crochet designer who really wants to create to their fullest potential. It takes time. Another benefit, and this is a huge benefit for you if you also want to join me in designing better instead of more for 2025, is that you focus on quality instead of quantity, and that you in the process will finally put yourself on the map as a crochet designer. You will learn so much in the process and also make things that other people will go, oh, I love that. I would love to also create that as well. Because that's also what we are doing. We are designing for us, but we are writing the pattern for them so that they can also make amazing and wonderful crochet items. And in the end, that's what I do it for. I mean, I also do it for me, of course, because crochet design, it's great fun, to create something that hasn't been done before. I feel that's great fun. But it feels so satisfying and so gratifying to open your Instagram account and then see like pictures of your designs made by others. Like, I live in the Netherlands, but people are making my designs from all over the world, like Japan, New Zealand, Australia, the UK, France, Norway. America is a very big fan. The American people, they are a very big fan of my patterns, as well as the Australians, the English people. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And so I feel very grateful that I get to design something. I mean, it's when you think about it, it's like so magical. You have this idea in your head and it only exists in your head, and you simply decide that you are going to make that, and so you do. And instead of it only living in your head, it will become a sketch. It will become a swatch. It will become a little sample. It will become your design made into reality. And then other people, they love it as much as you do, and they decide to make it as well. So it only expands that creativity. And I feel that's like the most magical thing. So my goal for 2025 is to not release more, but better designs. And also not to release more programs, because I've already done quite a few toolkits and masterclasses. I've released a handbook. I already did a full crochet design coaching program, Mind of the Crochet Designer. And I'm like, it's too much, I rather focus on my genius, which is helping other people also tap into their full potential as crochet designers, and make better programs and not more programs. Because the truth of the matter is, I mean, you can learn to write a pattern from anyone, I think. I think there's enough information around that. So I rather focus on things that truly light me up, and it's to help people be more creative and have more light and more creativity in this world, because the world itself as it now is already so dark. And we get to remind people how beautiful life actually still is. So I want to invite you to make that your designer goal, and I would also love to connect more with you. So if you're working on designs, please share them with me so I can root you on, so we can go on this journey together. I would love to do that for you. And also just to see what you're working on, because I'm blabbing in this microphone, but we don't actually get to talk, So I would love to connect more with you. after this podcast episode. So, thank you for listening and talk to you next time on the Mind of the Crochet Designer podcast. Bye bye.